was a marvelous player for the under-17 side, Ghana's Black Starlets, in 2013, the team that featured in Morocco. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, sir.
David Atanga is my guest for this afternoon's big interview. He is a bona fide player of Austrian side Red Bull Salzburg. Let's find out from him how he started football, where he started his game, and more importantly, the meaning of his name, Atanga. What does it mean?
The name Atanga is mostly from Upper East region, and Tanga means a rock. And yeah, so when I grew up, I knew Atanga to be someone who is strong and strong as a rock.
And are you strong?
Strong, not the best, but enough, strong enough.
So strong on the field or strong in your personality?
Strong in my personality, just a strong person who never gives up, always there to take any action or something like that.
Mentioning Upper East, how did your football career begin?
I started in the coast team called the Bolka Young Juventus, which is run by Salifu Fatau, known as Kiyoyo. And from there I was scouted by Red Bull Academy in Sogakope. And then I moved there when I was 14 years. I played there till the age of 17. And then from there I was transferred to Red Bull Salzburg.
When you went to Red Bull Salzburg, your maiden season, you played for Leferen. You played about 30 games, you scored about 8 or 9 goals. How will you describe your debut season in Austria?
Yeah, at the beginning I started really well. I was not allowed to play when I was till my 18th birthday, so it was a little bit difficult. I was there over a year without playing competitively, and when I started playing, I started scoring immediately. If I can remember, my first game I scored, and I gave a lot of assists, and from there I played in the World Cup under 20 2015, and before the World Cup I got my professional contract, and from there I started playing my professional football, and I think at the beginning it was really good.
When you look at football in Bulgaria, you happen to be one of the top stars that have come from that particular place. How have you been giving back to society in your own small way to try to also encourage other young players to also live up to their expectations?
Yeah, what I do best is whenever I'm coming home, I make sure I get football shoes, a lot of football equipment for some of the clubs, and I organize small tournaments for them to play, and organize maybe a game, the professional players against all-stars, something like that. I do that whenever I come home. I make sure I do something like that to encourage the young ones who are coming, and I think it's really moving well because the small ones that are coming, they are really happy to. Whenever I'm home, they are happy to see me, and when I organize games like this, everybody is there to watch, and it creates fun. So I think they are really motivated.
Now, let's look at your experience with the national teams. In 2013, you were one of the players that were picked for the under-17 AFCON in Morocco. The coach was Paco Sifeben. The assistant coach at that time was Coach Opele.
Exactly.
You went to that tournament, you played, and you were walloped by 6-1. Was it 6-1?
Yeah.
By Nigeria. That got you out of the tournament. How will you describe that experience, the defeat to Nigeria?
Yeah, for me, it was my first international tournament. Before then, I was playing the under 19 team for Red Bull Academy here in Sogakope. But I see it was really difficult to accept this defeat. Maybe 1-0, 2-1 was okay, but 6-1 was really too much. Looking at the team we had, I think we had a fantastic team, but I would say Nigeria, they were a little bit better, and a lot of mistakes caused this heavy defeat. But all the same, I would say after that game, we corrected ourselves. We played against Ivory Coast and we did very well. So I think in all we did not do too bad, but this defeat really demolished us.
Your graduation from the under 17 to the under 20 side in 2015, how was the transition?
Yeah, after the under 17, I never heard anything about the national team again. But I was in Austria, and when I used to play for Liefering, so I was performing very good. And one time I had a call from Celastete. He was like, "We want to bring you in the national team, but first we need to see you play 2 games to see if you can fit in the team to help us play in this tournament." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to represent my country." And yeah, I got the invitation and I left. I went with Ziggy. We're together in Red Bull Salzburg. We left from Austria to Australia to meet them there, and we played a game against. First game was against Portugal, but I came. It was like a really long flight, and the next day in the morning I had to play. So I played just 10 minutes, and we lost this game 1-0. And the next game I was fit enough. I trained with the guys already, so everything was good. We played against Colombia in a friendly game, and yeah, this game was fantastic. We won 2-0, and I scored also. So after this game, the coach was convinced to put me in the team, and yeah, I think after this game everything was fine.
Every player's dream is to play for the senior national team. You've played for the under 17, you've played for the under 20. Moving to the under 23 and the Black Stars, do you think that all your colleagues that you started with Thomas Ejapon, you started with Atizigi, they are all playing Yaoyabwa, they are all playing in the senior national team now? Do you think that it's taking too long to be called into the senior national team?
With the national team, I don't know. I don't think it's taking too long. It's just a matter of time. First of all, you need to be regular in your club to perform very well before you can be called in the national team. I know the national team have a lot of scouts who are watching all the players. So for me, I think maybe my performance is not enough, and I don't monitor the other guys, but I think maybe they perform much better than me. So I just accept it as a professional player, make sure I do my homework well, perform, and then it will come automatically.
But do you think that there are other players who, based on their performance in the season under review, deserved a call-up into the national team? A lot of people are talking about Bernard Tepete, who was not given a call-up into the team. Others are mentioning Richmond Boachi, who scored 13 goals in Europe this season. Some are also aggrieved about the axing of Majid Waris from the team. What's your opinion or your view on these players?
Yeah, my opinion, for example, Tekpete, we played in the same league, so I monitor him. I watch almost every game of him. Promoted to the Bundesliga, and yeah, I think he deserves a call-up. But at the end of the day, the coach who decides who is perfect to who is connected to the national team, who can bring good connection to the other players. And yeah, I think the coach has made his decision, and I know Tekpete is a professional player. He will accept it, of course. Sometimes it's difficult, but you just have to accept it. So I think the coach made his decision, and that's fine now. Nobody can change it. And looking at Waris, he was in the camp. I really don't know what happened. Maybe his training, or I don't know what happened, and he was brought out. Or maybe the other guys are better than him in the training or something like that. For sure, the coach have his own reasons why he dropped him. So I know he will also accept it as a professional player, and wish the team good luck in the tournament.
Moving to your club side, tell me about the difference you have experienced in the Austrian League and the Bundesliga 2.
Yeah, the Bundesliga 2 is a very physical game, league. Every game is only your technique is not enough, only tactic is not enough, you have to fight. And Austria, I would say maybe four clubs are really on the top level, and the others are average. But the Bundesliga too is more competitive than in the Austrian league.
Talking about Red Bull, this is a club that nurtured you when you were young. They picked you from Bolga, they took you to Red Bull Academy in Sovakope. You stayed there for a while. They moved you all the way to Austria. You played for Leferen. You came back to Red Bull. They gave you out on loan to Mattersburg. You came back. They gave you again on loan to St. Paulin. You went there, you performed, you came back. They still gave you out on loan to Greater Fort. Why do you think the club keeps, dashing you out on loan?
First of all, I would say the club never asked me to go on loan. I always ask for a loan move for myself because if I can remember, my first time on loan, before the loan, we had a coach which I never played. So after the end of the season, I asked to go on loan, and I went to Heidenheim and I never played. At the beginning I played, but I got a slight injury, which I was out for 2 weeks. And after this, the team was performing really good without me. So it was difficult for the coach to change the team. And the coach wanted me to stay for the whole season because he knew that if we come back in the winter break, I would play. But I decided to leave because it's not a guarantee. Maybe when we come back and he still used the same team and they perform, then I might not even play any minute. So I decided to go to Mattersburg in the half of the season. And there I performed very well, and Red Bull asked me to come back. They wanted to use me, and everything was fine. Pre-season I scored a lot of goals, a lot of assists, everything was fine. And till the last game of the season, I nearly broke my feet. I had a crack in my bone, so I was out for 3 months. And after these 3 months, the team was perfect, like really perfect team. We played Europa League, we qualified to the group stages, we won every game. And then in the middle of the season, I pleaded, they wanted me to stay actually, but I asked, with this injury, I can't compete so intense like the other guys. So I prefer to go in a normal club, which I have no pressure, and just to enjoy myself, make sure I'm fit for next season. So I went to St. Paulton, even though they were last in the bottom, but I prefer to go there to get my playing time and all that.
In all competitions, you played like about 34 games for Greater Fort, and I think it wasn't bad at all. But you did not score a lot of goals. What was the reason?
Yeah, I would say goals. I barely get chances in the game because in the second league, our philosophy, we play more 4-4-2. And the wingers, we stay really wide, we stay very far away from the goal. Only if you can look at the statistics, most players who score the goals play more in the central. And yeah, but as a winger, what I can do is to help my team get the passes to them to score. And yeah, I did that, and I had 7 assists for me. It wasn't, for me, I was not happy with my performance, but I would say it was okay for me because that was the main priority. They wanted a winger who is fast, technically good, to bring more balls to the strikers to score. And yeah, I succeeded in doing that, not every time, but a couple of times. So I think goal scoring, I think it will come automatically when I play in a system where I'm close to the opponent goal.
Now, tell me, a lot of players keep having challenges when they move to Europe for the first time. When you move to Europe, from Red Bull in Segakope to Europe for the first time, were there challenges?
Yeah, at the beginning I had really problems with the food. But after a few weeks, I got connected to Sadio Mane, and he used to help me a lot, take me to his house, take me to a lot of restaurants where I can get the food I want to eat. And then Isaac Vossa also came to Red Bull Salzburg, and yeah, for me I was lucky because I had people who helped me a lot, so it was not too difficult for me.
With that experience, have you also been helping other Ghanaian young players who come over to Austria to, ply their trade?
Of course, I do that every time. When I was there, Atizigi joined me, and I helped him a lot. Rafael Jamna also, I helped him a lot. One guy from Wafa, Aminu, he came. I helped him a lot. So when these guys came, I had my driving license, so I used to do a lot of work for them. Samuel Tete came. I helped him a lot. Gideon Mensah, I do a lot of things for them, and I think it's very important when you have someone who is from your country next to you, not just helping him, but he also keeps you company. So we are more like brothers, so we are always there for each other.
It's getting interesting, but we obviously have to draw the curtain. Before we go into the controversial aspect, and you know that. Are you married?
No, I'm not married, I'm single.
How many girlfriends do you have?
I don't have girlfriends. Football is my girlfriend for now.
So you don't have anybody who is at least pulling you small?
Pulling me in which way? I don't understand.
Thank you very much, David, for your time.
Thank you very much,
We wish
Sheikh.
you all the best in your
Thank
next
you.
move, and we pray that it becomes a very successful move for you.
Thank you very much.